Hey, welcome back to Matter of Fact. Today we got the rest of the slate for week three. So the 4 p.m. Sunday night football, Monday night doubleheader. So let's get back to it. How you feeling, Austin?
Feeling good.
A little bit nervous about tomorrow, but I don't blame you. But before we get into that, let's get into it. Miami and Seattle. I don't know what's so funny, but Miami and Seattle.
I don't know. I think, to be honest, this is just one of those games that got out of hand really quick. Once Seattle was up 2 scores, that kind of sealed the deal for the Dolphins, especially playing without their starting quarterback, or maybe even some would say even a serviceable quarterback. So it was just kind of too much of a deficit to come back from, and them only scoring 3 points on the during the entire day kind of tells it all.
Skylar Thompson's just not a NFL quarterback. I don't even think he should be a backup. From
Well,
I
if
mean,
you saw all the backups in the NFL play football, you'd probably say that about 28 of them.
nah, this was horrendously bad, bro. Bro, it was just terrible. They got Snoop Huntley, but you had to get him up to speed with Mike McDaniel's game plan and the playbook and whatnot. So hopefully he gets to start because I am a Tyreek Hill owner, and you just get somebody, at least get it to him on those short routes, and we could get creative like that. But this offense just completely stalled in this game, and like, going against a mind like Mike McDonald, that's just going to be tough. I mean, there's not much to take away from this game besides, hey, you guys need to address quarterback. In the grander scheme of things, what do you like? How do you think they should move going forward? Not in terms of, oh, we need to move on from Tua, but like it's a contingency plan just in case he might have to retire early.
I think a lot of people thought it was bizarre that they signed Mike White to a 2-year deal just like a year ago in 2023, and they actually cut him this offseason, probably for salary cap reasons, and they went with Skylar Thompson. So I
Reminds me of
think
what the Jets did when
So, and Mike White, again, he's not Mike White isn't somebody that you want to be playing for 10, 12 weeks out the year, but he can definitely be serviceable and hold the ship together for anywhere between 2 to 6 weeks. And I think that they obviously no one's expecting for the starting quarterback to play or to not play for a long periods of time.
yeah, but you got
But
to expect the unexpected.
right, and that costs money, and they didn't want to pay it.
You think that's really the reason why? How much did Mike White? How much was he supposed to get?
It was a $5 million contract. So,
Sounds worth it to me not to push out Skylar Thompson.
but
He
if
got
you,
he got destroyed too. I mean, he's in hell.
all right. So thought they knew what they were doing. Played the Seahawks. It didn't go his way. We'll see what they do this week.
I mean, we talk about Tua and his contract and how much quarterbacks cost and all that, but like in my opinion, and I'm not trying to debate this with you, I just don't think he's talented enough for the money he got. But then when you add that along with this concern, like should have really been moving like the Falcons and really
Right,
like
but they weren't up close enough. The Falcons didn't go to the playoffs. They were so putrid. They had the eighth overall pick.
yeah,
Miami
I'm
was
not
in.
saying getting one of those top quarterbacks. They weren't in play for it. It's kind of less right now after Jaden Daniels went off Monday night. People are like, see, this is why Jaden Daniels over Malik. Well, we weren't in a position to get Jaden Daniels. Like, what are you guys complaining about? We weren't in a position to get a quarterback. And I would rather have Malik Neighbors than try to go up and give like a real godfather, can't refuse this offer type deal. And this is why you don't tank because I'm glad we have Neighbors.
Well, I mean, Dolphins probably kind of thinking the same way. They're like, look, we got our guy. He works for us. Let's keep it pushing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They're no one's really like they're a fun team, obviously, because of the players they have there. But I mean, you hit the reset button, bro.
Nah, you can't. You just signed Waddle. You just signed Tyreek Hill to their contracts. You just gave Tyreek Hill the most guaranteed money to a non-quarterback position in the NFL history. You just signed Tyreek to a $25.3 million deal annually. You're locked in. You're ready to play football. I mean, you got linemen signed to long-term deals, taking up a lot of the percentage of the salary cap. Like They're all in. That was why they signed Tua, is because they're all in. So, this is just where they're at. They have to deal with it.
There was a couple contracts that when they got signed, I was like, all right. I mean, AFC, so it doesn't really matter to me, but this was definitely one of them. We'll get to another one here later, but yeah, hopefully the Dolphins. Hopefully, I think Sue Huntley could get the job done. He's been getting a lot of shit from pundits that he's not that good, but I think
Yeah, like
he
because that's
should
what I was about to. I mean, that's about to ask. Like, what does the job done necessarily mean? Like,
get the ball to these speed demons that you have and just keep the offense simple enough for him to make those plays, and he can make some plays with his legs.
all
I mean,
right.
I don't know. I'm not a Dolphins fan. I'm just being wasted.
I mean, in theory, all that sounds good, but like Tyler Hunt's on the street for a reason, also. Just letting talented quarterbacks just sit. So it's just something to consider.
So I keep basically asking you this in different ways, but like, do you draft a quarterback high
I mean,
if
it, it
you're
all
like
it's
below
all
500?
it's all relative to the draft board. It's relative to the draft board. If people are stuff to let I can't think of his name right now. Can't drop to them and wherever they're at, 15, 16, 18, then sure, why not? But again, this is a guy that's probably going to go top 8. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like if you have those options presented to you at pick 17, maybe that changes your way of thinking. But he has to get there. And there has to be a prospect that your scouts and your staff and your GM have okayed it, believe is good enough. There's just a lot of things that go in place. This ain't pick a QB. This ain't build a bitch.
So unfortunate. Speaking of Panthers that we're about to get into, you think they should go after Bryce? Possible.
No, I mean it's wait and see approach for them. They just gotta wait and see approach. That's just
All
what they
right, so
have right
no
now.
hunting yet. Just
I mean, you panicking right now, then you're not going to be a GM or in player personnel for a very, very long time.
it's just tough because last year it was just a two-man race in that division, and the Jets are looking. They're clicking. They're humming. So, shout out to the Seahawks, one of the only undefeated teams left. They got the job done.
Mm-hmm.
So went over to Vegas. Um, this was the coffin for Bryce as a Carolina Panther to me.
I
I
mean,
mean, quarterback went all year to throw for 303 touchdowns in the game right after Bryce gets benched.
so you got to remember all week that the coach and the players essentially were alluding to this possibly being the outcome. You know what I mean? Like they put it on his back and he made it his decision and he didn't throw anybody under the bus. But he all but said, yo, out of the respect of all the other players in the locker room, we have to go with Andy Dalton. I can't throw him out there anymore.
Did you see after the win how they were celebrating super hard? And obviously, like that must have been, like just the morale and everything. But like, if you're Bryce
Yeah.
Young, man, when it rains, it pours, man. You just lost
I
this
mean,
girl, whatever
hey,
player, right? Your
look,
girl lost your job, but hey, you're a millionaire, right?
this is
You
where that
invest some of
adversity
that.
comes in. This is where that adversity comes in. This might take him into gear. Like this might turn him up. All right, yo, I can't never be down like this ever again. And you know what I mean? And maybe it turns him into a monster. He gets everything back, and he a football player, and he can make a career for himself. Is this the first person that this has happened to, as we've all alluded to, as we're seeing a redemption story with Andy Dalton right now, as we're seeing a redemption story with Malik Willis right now. So,
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold, even if you want to speak on it. So it's like, yeah, it's not looking good. And the coach had to make the right decision for the football team, but none of that has anything to do with you and what you got to deal with. So to get his head straight, you're going to have to look yourself in the mirror, let him know that it's as bad as it sounds, sleep on that shit, and you know what I mean? Be a dog in the morning. It's the only options you got.
Yeah, be a dog in the morning in 2025.
Yeah. Got to work with it today, though, to be ready in 2025. You can't work for that shit in 2025 and think you're gonna be prepared. That shit starts today, for real.
Yeah, just sure is nice and warm for him.
And I mean, good Dalton, man. You know, Lee Dalton, good for the offense, good for Deontay Johnson. Like these guys are able to showcase, that they felt like they had. So good, like all around game from the offense, Like Andy Dalton was throwing dimes and like these kept dropping the balls. Like they were in the balls where they wanted it and they were catching that shit. Even the play that Adam Thielen, the last he made before he got knocked out the game, he came down with that shit solid and boom, he was through. But he finished the play, and that's part of these cats have wanted for so long. Like, yo, give me a chance to finish the play, bro. Just give me a shot at finishing the play. And they got that shit. They pulled out a dub. And this was a blowout. It don't look like a blowout. It's 22-36, but this was a smash mouth blowout.
This game, it wasn't particularly close. They got bullied. The defense came to play as well.
Hey, I just want to say there's a lesson when it comes to this quarterback thing. When you have multiple quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. Okay? I want that to be a lesson. I want that to be a lesson. I want that to be known. When you have multiple quarterbacks, you have none.
What about boy Justin Fields and that Russell Wilson situation? If it wasn't for that minor tweak where he was ready to go week 2, they came in no real quarterback or multiple quarterbacks.
Yeah, my bad. I'm gonna call the phone and shit. But
yeah, difficulties. But yeah, saying, yeah, bro. So I mean, yeah, bro. But I mean, boy Justin Fields. In that situation, if Russell Wilson didn't tweak whatever, I mean, looking at there, they came in with multiple quarterbacks.
Because it took Flyers and they'd be in the same situation had one struggled. They would easily be in the same situation. It's just Justin Fields is undefeated. He's undefeated. So that's why we don't have multiple quarterbacks. That's why Justin Fields is a starter. That's what he says every single week. He doesn't say
I think Tomlin just said like he doesn't even need to name them.
Right. So we don't have multiple quarterbacks right now. They season.
You know how I feel about that. So who are you referring to? Are you talking about like the Raiders?
No, I'm just saying. I mean, them because they had 2 play, but then we watched Skylar Thompson, and it looked like his backup went in too. And it's like, when you're throwing anything at the wall, you got multiple quarterbacks. It's because you have none. You struggle. Nobody's coming in for Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts just gonna have to work through that shit. You know what I mean? It's like certain players where Derek Carr can struggle, and people might scream for Spencer Rattler, but people know Derek Carr as the starter as right now. You know what I mean? This can change.
Rattler not seen that field this season for sure.
Right.
Nah, I mean what it is. I mean, right now. You roll with Andy Dalton. Obviously, it's not the long-term option, and you're just trying to get some dubs. Make a run. I mean, it's not like he's 40; he's 36.
Right, and they have to evaluate the team.
We just saw Joe Flacco go on like a late insanity run, brought them to the playoffs, and he looks like a better option than Deshaun Watson. Sometimes you have to know when to cut your losses, and I think they did it early, and this was a good time to do it because now they're 1-2, and they're in the mix in that division. But
they can see what they have in their guys. Like that's the one thing about not having a serviceable quarterback is you don't need even Atlanta. Atlanta was 3 years in with Drake London and Kyle Pitts and all these cats that we believe are good. But it's like, wait, how good are they though? They get the ball. They can't get the ball. We don't even know. Like it's just a hindrance on everything.
Nah, for real. In terms of Raiders, how are you feeling about like their outlook? I mean, wanted a quarterback in the draft. I think they wanted Penix. Rolled out with Gardner Minshew. Kind of a plan to me, but I mean,
those are the options you got. With 32 of these cats in the league, man. You know what I mean? It's just like people so bash the somewhat kind of good he got that you know what I mean. You don't realize all right, the Raiders actually really did all they could do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it's just
it's like a easy said than done type of deal. Yeah. I feel that. Well, I mean, move on to the next game.
Yeah,
I'll let you take this one away.
So yeah, I'm versus the Cowboys. At the beginning of the game, it just was the same shit. It's gonna be the same shit every single week until they find a way to stop it. And I don't understand why they have this mentality of, oh, well, we're not going to see this again. Like, no, you're going to see it again. You're going to keep on seeing pin and pull, and you're going to keep on seeing all these sweeps and all this RPO stuff until you stop it. And the whole thing is, people already know that, I mean, these offenses already know that, the line might not be good enough to handle Dallas's defensive front in a passing down situation. So why am I going to pass the ball? I've got big plays going on every which way without even having to pass. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. And they always are like baffled. Like, I didn't think that they were going to run it that many times. And it's like, bro, you're not stopping it. So why would they stop
Did they
running
say
it? They
that again or something or what?
No, it's just if they imply because they always getting mad at the fact like Mike is being sound right now. He's actually being sound in his gaps and everything like that. But the gap integrity is non-discipline. Like it's not coaching. It's not the defensive coordinator. It's the players on the field. And I mean, I have proof of it. It's not the coaching at all. It's just the players. They plays and they want to do their own thing and they're trying to
I mean,
all these.
players itself, or is it the personnel? Like you guys don't have the personnel.
Nah, we have linebackers now, bro, but they're just not disciplined. That's the problem. They just
So
not.
wouldn't you put that on coaching?
Nah, watch. I'll show you right now. I'm going to show you right now. Hold on. I got pulled up just for this situation right here. And it's
That's
like the players that are the problem. Like you about to see. Watch. My man broke it down. This is Okoye right here. Okoye Media. Hold on. Let me see. Make sure they let it play. Let's see what happens if we do this.
you got the right types timestamp.
But you see, he's
It's
showing you the
not,
gap in he's showing you the gap
the
integrity right now.
video. The video's not playing.
Nah, he's not playing yet. It's paused.
Oh, okay.
He's down at the bottom. He's talking. He's showing you where everyone's supposed to be. They're supposed to be looking at the guy that's leaking out right there. They're over here looking in the backfield, chasing Derrick Henry and chasing Lamar Jackson. We got Micah over here double teamed and already on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Like what's coach about to do about that? So this is the play. This is the play where Kolar, out of all people, gets the break for 15, 20 yards down the field. You know what I'm saying? Like these are our leaders. These are our motherfucking. These are the guys. These not even our young guys doing this shit, bro. This is the team. The cat that's 32, 33 years old. You know what I mean? And he's supposed to be big, bro. All of these things, and he not even setting a good example. He over here trying to be Superman. We got more though. This is on the first damn drive.
Just too easy.
Bro, he does like you know what I'm saying, bro? This is literally the film of these cats being undisciplined. But then Micah want to complain because on the play that he was disciplined, somebody else was undisciplined. Like, bro, Mike, you don't get a chance to be undisciplined and then bitch at motherfuckers for doing the same thing that you're doing. Like, y'all all this shit. Y'all all doing this shit. And we over here blaming Zim because it looks so crazy. We're like, nah, it can't be the players. But it's like, no, this is the players. It's clear that they all getting worked out there. Like, to Okoye Media and shit, man. Like, he breaks that down. He breaks that entire thing down to show you it's a whole 25, 26-minute segment of him just getting you to understand that this is not necessarily coaching, but also just the players just not playing well. The defense is not playing well. And guess what? We not done seeing that. We're not, just because we're not playing the Shanahan offense, if you don't think your boy Dayball is about to pull up something similar to that with Singletary and white boy, they got another thing coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The reads are going to hit different. Creative with Tyrone Tracy probably. Yeah, I mean
You're gonna use everybody.
it's tough because your best player on defense, thing about him is the pass rush. But if they're running it down your throats, then you can't really utilize his greatest strength. So
that's the
it's
thing.
kind of taking his impact out of the game.
Well, it's just look. You stop the run before you can get to rush the passer. That's the rule. That's always been the rule. You got to stop the run before you get to rush the passer. These motherfuckers want to wake up with a 7-point lead and have everybody playing for behind. I know you weren't playing, our football game or whatever, but you would notice when Lamar had to throw on third down, we got stops. We were able to get stops, but they were rarely in a 3rd and 7. They were rarely in a third distance. And the one time we finally got to stop. Look at this, bro. One target, one statement, 4 targets. Zay Flowers, their best player, 4 targets.
I mean, he only 15 times and he was efficient with it, but that's all he really needed to do. I mean, so Dak for, but.
And then look at what we doing on the other side with the shit. You know what I'm saying? This is what we doing with the goddamn football. We said Ezekiel Elliott for 2 yards of carry. Why you want to start out the football game like that? Why you want to start out any like that? Hey, yo, we're going to just pop it to my boy. Let's make it 2nd and 8 for sport. Like, that don't even make sense. Everything we do is so difficult, and we finally were able to play some football at the end of the football game, because at that point, it was just hurry up. It was just straight up, all right, I'm in control of the offense. Like, I can't wait until him and CeeDee Lamb go into the room and smack up Mike McCarthy real quick, and he'd be like, oh, yeah, okay, you save our jobs. So, Dak, you go ahead, you run the show. Like, that's going to happen around week 6, but Mike McCarthy be trying to control shit right now, and it don't look good. CeeDee Lamb over here pouting like a little baby, and Dak had to just tell him, like, look, bro, you ain't been here all training camp. You ain't been here all OTAs. Don't get it twisted. I might love you, but I can actually do it with these motherfuckers. Like, I had to do it without you for 3 months. So it's not nothing for him to go out there with the Tolberts of the world and the Turpins of the world and the Jalen Brooks of the world and Brandon Cooks not even with it showing his speed anymore. And he found a way to make some shake at the end. It's just what he do. And it's like, that's how, I sometimes, and I'm like, yo, this man, he didn't do good either at the beginning of the game. He started off slow too. But that's the thing. Why is everybody starting off slow on our end? And these cats is just 15 plays in their bag. They're not even getting in their actual. They're just in their first 15 plays.
To fair, and I know it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but I mean, in a desperate situation, they could be 0-3, just
right,
like
but they gave it back to you.
Now.
You had a chance to get that joint back, and even then, they were done disciplined, because if Wilson tries to be Superman and take the running back to Flowers, when really he should have just stayed on Lamar and let all that had outside contain. You let them take care of Flowers coming across with the jet sweep. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like it was at every single point. And with our kicker, bro, if we would got that jump back and even Turpin did anything with it, we would have had a chance to kick, and that shit probably would have went in. Because my man is good from like 67.
Yeah, kicker in the league. Keep it up with this like all time. I think I saw a stat that like this is like the one defense in like 10 years.
Bro, look at these averages, bro.
I mean Justice Hill, 4. Even Justice Hill with his touches, he's averaging almost 7. Yeah, that's tough.
Bro, he got the break 1 for 17. Like, whoever won the ball. And that's just that at some point, it stopped, and I'm hoping that it stops this week, but we'll see. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we'll see. Like, we're playing. If we can play, stop the run, and we can rush the passer, this should be a simple ball game for us to win. But if y'all
that's how they don't want to win, and it's the other team's job to make sure you're not in your efficient. So
right. But now, luckily, we're not playing the Ravens. We're playing a team that's a little bit different than the Ravens. Do you think that y'all would be able to get in a shootout? Do you think that y'all are capable of putting up 35 points?
I mean, the Neighbors is looking, and how defense, if we stick with the run, our game's not out of hand, like in terms of shootout,
right, because
not 14-17, and then
right. That's what I'm saying. Because I'm saying, like, if we got 10, like, I'd be like, okay, we should be able to take care of this. We got up 2 scores, but it's like so that's why I'm saying you think y'all would be able to score, something like that. Because I think y'all need to muddy the game up. I think if this is
we'll get more granular with that in a bit, but for now, around Thursday night, this is an important game for both teams, and the Ravens snuck out with this one. Y'all got the first onside kick of the year, so I mean, it's looking elite. It's just like a discipline, and players got to play
and
together.
That can be fixed.
They got to be consistent.
And like as much as like we're complaining about, as much as it's being like really calling and everything, that can be fixed. That can be fixed. What was shown on the film, that can be fixed, because that wasn't because of a lack of talent. That was because of a simple lack of discipline. You know what I mean? It wasn't even like these they were getting tricked. They were getting whooped, and Lamar's a magician. So, forward to them having a better outing, playing with some pride, having a better practice. I know they only had 1 or 2 practices this week, but they're New York, and like you said, this is a must-win game, so they need to come out with some fire.
I can't wait. I think this is a nice spot, but we'll get more into that with that preview in a bit. But division game here, this one was crazy, man. Jawan Jennings game, Niddle, no McCaffrey, the event all there. You got Mason, you got Ayuk, you got Jennings, and Brock Purdy showed that, he could have had this one. But, Sean McVay Stafford just looks, he's elite. I just wish that, they healthy on both sides of the ball. O-line's decimated. No Puka, no Cooper Kupp. Find a way to get it done. But yeah, Ayuk, it's looking like, I don't know. Is he worth 30 a year?
Well, he's not worth 30 because he's rusty because he wasn't at training camp. I mean, we're same thing with CD. Part of the reason is him pouting and all that stuff, but the part of the reason that him and Dak are so rusty is because he wasn't at training camp. You wasn't getting work in. All these other guys was getting work in with me. You wasn't getting any work in. I mean,
I think based off how this season started, and we've been seeing it more and more as teams play less in preseason. There's one less preseason game. Do you think there's going to be more of an emphasis on, hey, we got to get these reps in? Because
I think that if there's a contract negotiation going on, it's going to always go like this because this is part of the player's leverage. So it kind of goes back on the like, all right, well, how much do you care about winning? Because it would be right for me to be in training camp before getting a deal done. You know that. I mean, that's what I know. It's off the owner. It's off the GM. So it's like, but outside of dispute and contract negotiations, yeah, I think they know that it's so important that they always are other guys. I mean, Dak football field in his backyard. You know what I mean? Him CD was still getting in work before the down, but it's different when we got to go to Oxnard and really get in our not here. It's just they had to go through the same thing. And I mean, these guys are going to be fine because you see the plays that they're still able to make, and it's like, oh, he's just rusty.
Yeah, it's a bad beat, especially in terms of CD, because it's like you were going to pay him that amount. So like with the Niners, it kind of made a little bit more sense. They still had to pay Trent. They got money divvied out all over the place. They don't worry about the Purdy contract, but obviously I made it himself during the off season. But yeah, I mean, Warrior, man. Shout out to Sean McVay. Down on themselves, and that's a sign of a well-coached team. When you're out these weapons, best defensive player in our generation just retired. You got to replace him with a rookie, and you're able to do this. Yeah, the 49ers depleted themselves, but not on the same level as the Rams. This was supposed to be, a game that the Niners are supposed to take home.
I mean, they had it. Yeah, 14 points in the second quarter. You know what I'm saying? So it's like sometimes it's just, hey, it didn't work for them. But it's saying one's going to be too down. Everybody believes in bounce back, and I do too. So they'll be all right.
Yeah, I think the takeaway from the game was, both are legit. I think Brock Purdy proves he's a top 10 quarterback, easily stamped to me. And then Matt Stafford, it's like aging wine.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what the end stats were for both these cats. So Brock 2 for 30, 292 with 3 tutties, and Stafford over here with 1 tutty, 3 sacks, 16 for 25. Some pretty decent outputs.
Yeah, they're really leaning on Kyron. Kyron is out there making plays like crazy.
Yeah.
Tutu Atwell seems like, there's a lot of buzz about DeMarcus Robinson, and I think his name's Tyler Johnson. But at the end of the day, Tutu Atwell, shifty. He seems like the only one who could really get separation without
He's the one with speed.
Other guys.
Yeah. He's the one with speed.
All right. Detroit went to desert. This one looked like it was gearing up to be a shootout. This was my favorite over the week. Clearly didn't hit. The play. Um, yeah, this was the issue with the Cardinals is for one, they don't host talent on defense, but they lost Bride in this one. Even though it was a little bit later, they get anything going against this touch. So, eight in the league in sacks right now, I believe, at like 4.5. So
See, that's why you gotta make people pass the ball, man. You gotta make people pass the ball. And these motherfuckers, they don't even want to pass the ball. They actually want to run it.
yeah, they really shut James Conner down.
Yeah. Collar didn't work. But yeah, for James Conner, they did well. Solid outing from Marvin Harrison. Also, Marquise Wilson?
Nah, Michael Wilson.
Michael Wilson. Okay, from
He's
Stanford.
a good. I mean, waivers is over. Still be on your waiver wire, but if you need a quick fill-in for this week, without Trey McBride being there, what do you get? A concussion?
Yeah, he had a concussion, so he's definitely going to be out this week.
Yeah, so Michael Wilson's a great option. Really liked him last year. I think he's a very underrated receiver. Him, Greg Dortch, Marvin Harrison. It's just have to. Oh no, with the Cardinals, it's tough because like the defense isn't that good, and then I don't know their offensive output for like the second half of this game. I don't. The Lions just had answers for them.
Yeah, hey, Lions are Super Bowl favorites.
Yeah, another division.
All right, I was out celebrating my birthday, so you got this one. I don't even know what the heck was going on when this was going on.
Chiefs, Falcons. Oh yeah, it was your birthday shit. Yeah, so this game was interesting. One takeaway I have from this game is the Chiefs, everyone's making about the refs are always on the Chiefs side. Taylor Swift that they want them to 3P. But at the end of this game, the Falcons are getting like all the calls. There's a PI Kyle Pitts that should have been called, like an offensive one. There's some BS, like there's a horse collar into this game that was kind of BS. There were calls at the end of the game. They got the ball back. They had 3 timeouts, and they just, I just didn't call it. The play calling was pretty iffy. So there it was like, and I think they pitched it to Bijan, and it's just like, is a play that you start? You're basically starting negative and you're 4th down. Like, is that the best play for this situation? There was also 2 different situations at the end of the game where they went for it on 4th down in the red zone, and it's like they lost by 5. Take the field goal both times. It's a different game. They have to scheme the game up a little bit differently. The Chiefs are going to have to move a little bit differently. What I notice is that against the Chiefs, it just feels like people start freaking out, and just in the back of their mind, it's just like the ghost of Mahomes in these coaches' heads, and it's just like, yo, just play the plan. Fundamental.
I think it's just they just know how to win these games. Pat Mahomes ain't even out with nothing special. You know what I'm saying? And that's not trying to throw shade at him or anything, but it's literally just like, yeah, we just going to give you this hella shit down the field. We're going to end up winning the game, and we'll holler at y'all if we see you on playoff run.
Yeah, but still, like at the end of this game, they're too focused on, well, if we need a score now because Pat Mahomes, this, that, and the third. It's like, if you haven't noticed, the defensive team right now, where they're not asking Pat Mahomes to do a lot. Travis Kelce, he's getting double teamed, but he's athletically not in his prime anymore. And then, Rashee Rice is getting busy, but this isn't the peak Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce days where they're just putting up 30 points a game. They're kind of leading with defense. They're full bear. Getting 17 carries for 72 yards, so they're keeping the game plan what it is. And this was Atlanta to, really claim this Bucs losing with the Saints losing. They had plenty of chances with this one, and I just feel like teams get too erratic at the end of these games in these close moments. But like you said, the Chiefs got to
They just know how to win these
close.
games. They just
Close.
been in more than you have. I've been in these you have, bro. I know how to get out. And that's just it looks like every single time. And I mean, again, like this at the game of things, this isn't gonna really matter for the Falcons. It's an AFC opponent. And like I'm sure they have plenty of time to take a handle of that division. I don't think anyone's going anywhere over there. So in the NFC South.
Yeah, that one's definitely a toss. Chiefs 3-0. They're looking good. I think the backfield is going to shake out with Kareem Hunt. I know they wanted him, or like gearing up for him to play this game, but get him up to speed.
I think I'm gonna be real, and you know what I'm saying. Like I think Hunt is in the Ezekiel Elliott role. Like he's not, you know what I'm saying. I don't think he's necessarily gonna be like. There's probably some situations where you like to have Kareem Hunt, maybe at the goal line or something like that. But for the most part,
I think that'd be anything. I mean, if
right,
Kareem
exactly.
Hunt
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to there's no point for the give him touches. Like let the young boy rock. If we need something for Samandre, we'll let Sang. If we need Kareem Hunt for some emergency reason, maybe somebody missed up something like that, then I think that's when Kareem Hunt is getting in. But they don't really need the 2.3 yards of carry from Kareem Hunt. You know what I mean?
You think nowadays?
I think somebody that's just doing even respectfully, even Dalvin Cook. Like Dalvin Cook and his
Dalvin Cook is like completely cooked. What team is he on anymore?
He's on the Cowboys practice squad.
He hasn't gotten elevated.
See what I'm saying?
I mean, hey man, you think you're gonna get like 5 carries?
I mean, I don't think he's gonna be like a factor. I think he's just third back because you want to have backs playing. But I don't think
you own P-Ron. That's what you're hoping for.
No, I mean, I'm not hoping for anything, bro, because P-Ron is on the end of my bench, and I don't really need him to play. Like, I'm just giving you the proof. But what are you hoping for?
I'm hoping. I'm a Pacheco owner, and I went ahead and got Hunt for the free ski instead of
going. So that's that's the angle. That's the angle.
Yeah. I know you got P-Ron, right? I know you got.
But you tried to project that. I was like, wait, what? P-Ron ain't. You know what I mean? That was at the end of the bench.
Yeah, I know you're not starting him. I'm kind of curious. Look something up real quick. We can move on though.
Yeah, I pressed the button. It's going slow today. This was a nice little smack city spot for the Bills right now.
This game, like, what's your boy Trevor Lawrence? Because I mean, you're a pretty big defender, but I mean,
I don't think I'm a defender, but it's again. He would start. He my boy because he would start for the Oakland wishes that they had him right now. Like we're not going to, bro.
I would either have Daniel Jones playing better than you.
All right, okay, he is Daniel Jones. So you know what I mean?
Daniel Jones, he's Daniel Jones with flow,
right? Like you know what I mean? It's this, but at the end of the day, bro, they got him, and he's not going nowhere. It's going to coach. It's going to be the offensive coordinator. And again,
he's feminist Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I'm not trying to whatever or defend him, but it's like, I see that everything looks difficult out there. I see Travis Etienne catching the ball and slipping and falling. I see that there's nobody open. You know what I'm saying? So, and then now it's starting to. Now it looked like he's starting to see ghosts a little bit. So
did you see that play where he like spun for no reason and they got sacked right after? Like there was a little bit of coming up the middle, but not anywhere near to that spin move. It felt like you gave your little controller for one down and he's doing that shit. He over there spinning in the backfield for no reason. I mean, this Jacksonville, bro, he would be getting chewed out. Like the only reason why he could up these kind of stinkers is because he's in Jacksonville. Even they're on the wrong. Oh no. They did.
But understand, they've been bad. They've been bad in the yips since Thanksgiving. They've been bad for a very long time. So it's like what are we about to give up on?
Got to give up on the coach. He just paid T-Law, so. But,
or we got to try to
like, it came out and it was sloppy. Like nothing was in sync. Nothing was their way. I think this is going to see him. I think he has a bounce back game, hopefully, but I mean, he's just not living up to the pedigree that everyone talked about him. Like, next Andrew Luck would find his way out of this. Like, it's an ugly watch. Like, flat
I
out,
mean,
it's an ugly
in the
watch
Bills,
play, bro.
you got to give. I mean, I get it. It's guys the QB, but you got to give credit to the Bills. You got to give credit to the Bills defense. I mean, they're losing key
That
players
too.
and they're out there turnovers. I mean, Josh Allen's doing whatever he on the football field. So they're the Bills look unit right now. Like Khalil Secure looks like he's that security blanket for Josh Allen. I think he's going to be at the end of the year. He's going to be considered the surefire wide receiver one going in playoffs for this team. Congratulations if you won that live fantasy football, especially if it's PPR. But even without the touchdown, he got you 13 points almost. So
Yeah,
or he
he
got
was
you
definitely
13.
targeting in those like mid to late rounds, but it was kind of sharp. It was
Yeah.
one of those like
Some people, not me, but some people, they were probably like, "Oh, damn, wait, he's here, okay," and they just selected him. You know what I mean? Like once they started running
yeah.
out of names and everything. But like in my projections, I had projected for over 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. So it's like I always kind of figured like, yo, and this long-tenured wide receiver, pass catcher on the team outside of Dawson Knox. So you know what I mean, and he's at wideout, and now he's playing in the slot. I just think that him and Josh got a thing going, and also Josh is capable of playing with a lot of wide receivers. So it just so happened he's the one that's clicking with him the best right now.
Yeah, and I know we're kind of in like a instant with the players coming out as rookies, but for the most part, these receivers start turning up, midway through the season. Be shocked if Keon Coleman puts this offense on another level. You saw Josh Allen come out and say that, it's nice when everyone's playing together, not worried about stats. Clear shot at Diggs. Clearly, that seems like the problem, which is strange because his usage rate on the Bills was like extremely high. He was a machine in fantasy, and if you watched him play, he got the ball often. I mean, he was the number one option, so I don't really know what his deal
I
was
think
there.
it's a run heavy scheme now. They're a run heavy scheme. They're not airing it out. They're not trying to throw for 400 yards and do all this stuff. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if I get it. Said it. There's bass with this guy, so he's all making shots. But bro, I don't. I mean, bro,
You don't think
he's
that
a
was a
lot.
shot at him? Because what
I
else
mean,
are you talking
it
about?
could have been the head coach that got fired last year. Like, I mean, not the head coach that got fired last year. Like, he
I
could just
think
be talking about
Ken
philosophy.
Dorsey.
Yeah, Ken Dorsey. Like, he could just be talking about philosophy of the coordinator he has now. That could have just been him endorsing Joe Brady. Like we don't care about the cats, don't care about stats. We don't got no wide receiver ones. We don't got people, worried about that. We just blocking, playing well for the team.
I mean,
Right.
you're like the no dramas football guy, but like that. I mean, he's doing this thing. I think it's a win-win because now Josh Allen he doesn't feel obligated to target
If
this
anything,
one guy.
Josh Allen's playing freer than he ever has. He's in the MVP. He is number one. He's the leading candidate MVP, and his team's 3-0. So, like, I just don't think he's the type of cat to like, uh, you know, just spin up to get a quick little keep it pushing.
I
You
don't
don't
even
even have
think
to
he
that.
did it. Like, I don't think he did it coming into that question. Like, yeah, this is my chance. But I feel like he was so quiet and like such a professional as he should be as a franchise quarterback during that whole situation that we're all human. I think he just kind of let one slip. And he promised, but what is he going to do? Double down, be like, yeah, I was talking about him.
Right. So,
I mean,
it is.
The Bills are in terms of the weapons that they lost on defense. I mean, I always felt like a little bit overstated. People were saying they were hitting the reset button, but to me, those players were either injury riddled, like never on the field, the best abilities, availability, or they were kind of over the hump in terms of peak of their career, or both, a mixture of both. So,
I mean,
and then that's
they paid for come in. They paid for Curtis Samuel to come in. They paid,
I'm
you know what I
talking
mean?
about on defense.
On defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
I mean,
I think surprising them. that how well that they're able to play. I mean, they put out a season that they were dependent on. Milano, he's not playing.
Yeah,
There's just a
Milano.
lot. Yeah, so there's a lot that they did already, and I think Von Miller's just giving them a nice little punch right now. So they're hitting on all cylinders. Let's see if they can contain it. You know what I mean? The world is the Bills right now. Bills Mafia.
Yeah, I mean, they're always pretty nice in September. So
Right.
let's see if they could keep this going. But now Josh Allen's looking poised. The team's looking, I mean, and like you said, to that Bills defense, and obviously Sean McDermott's a defensive coach, and that's his expertise. And, he's doing more with less. So nothing more you
Yeah.
could ask for.
Yeah. Well, moving on to the night, the game of the night. I guess a star was born. We can't, you know, he's the best fell. Jaden Daniels.
Relax.
Oh, I saw a tweet, not even where this man said that he's faster than Lamar and throws better. And I was just like, okay, yeah, we're going all the way there. We are there, bro. And you know what? We gotta just let him have it. You gotta let him have a day. They're gonna make it a month, but we gotta let him have it. He balled out.
The same franchise that wanted to keep Sam Howell and keep rolling with that. So yeah, they're ecstatic, which can't, like you said. Terry McLaurin finally got going. I think that ball that put the dagger in the game, one of the best passes I've seen all year.
Yeah, it's funny. It was an amazing pass, but the Bengals were being so disrespectful. Like they were playing him. They were playing Terry McLaurin so disrespectful. Like they were just sitting on sticks. They didn't think like they just really were going to let it rip. And we talked last week about that, about them not letting him throw to Terry McLaurin. Let him get
Hey,
down.
that boy Cam Taylor Britt had to eat his words a little bit. Showed
Right.
that he could. But what we're saying with these coordinator positions, what's his name? The OC,
Cliff
Tyler.
Kingsbury.
Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury. I mean, knows how to points. He knows how to utilize
But
guys
not
like
even
this.
but not even that. He's been showing that. You know what I mean? For like on film, like what Taylor Britt was film was actually true. They weren't challenging people down the field. Well, just because you said it and just because they didn't do it in week 2, don't mean that they can't implement that into their
Yeah.
offense and have a little bit of something for you come week 3.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like, and again, like amazing Larry Cloran. I've seen him come down with that ball, not necessarily against Stephon Diggs, but I've seen him come down with that ball when he's playing like the Colts or something like that. Like I know that he can play ball, So it's like you got to catch a shot, and this man got a rocket arm. Like he does have a rocket arm, and
Hey, the Giants knew. I mean, what's the
Hard Knocks.
in Hard
I'm
Knocks,
sure.
and Hall said, yeah, we take them. So I think it was
Yeah.
if we could have more May, but wasn't there for us.
Right.
The neighbors, great consolation prize. So not
And
tripping on
yeah.
it, but it seems like Washington does have a different. I mean, this seems like best rookie quarterback so far.
Right,
Or
and it's
is
week
that
3.
too early to say?
You know what I'm saying? Right, because it's like now week 7, week 8, he not the Bengals defense, and you know what I mean? It's because
Speaking of the Bengals, what? Go ahead.
I mean, it's like right now. Again, I know it coming from me, Cowboys fan, all of this, but it's like we anoint this man and we love him. But didn't he just score his first 2 touchdowns this week?
Passing touchdowns, yeah.
Passing touchdowns. That's what I'm saying. Didn't he just score his first 2 passing touchdowns week 3? So it's like, well,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, it's like we don't let that. Like, he is still growing, and they already ruined one cat a decade ago with this same type of ha ha he nonsense because they can't handle it. Can we like maintain this thing and like make sure that we see it through, or is it just like nope? He's just bruh, they had no pass rush. They had Anderson was hurt. Like I again, and I really did to the Cincinnati Bengals defense. But if they think that they can play my defensive line like that, even, and y'all might have a collectively better defensive line than the Cowboys do, that ain't about to work. That's not, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's worth throwing the ball back, trying to throw it deep to Terry McLaurin. I don't know if that works for every single team. It worked against those guys, but you know what
I
I
mean,
mean? Like,
it's a once Trevor Lawrence is getting pounded by the media because it was a brutal watch and it was in the bright lights. And on the flip side, Bengals 0-3. They really needed this one, and this game was up for grabs. Joe Burrow's doing his thing. Jamar Chase was being Jamar Chase.
I
T.
mean, this wasn't
Higgins
the
back.
offense's fault at all. It wasn't the offense's
Oh
fault that
yeah,
they
both
lost
of
at
these
all.
defenses are terrible, and that's to
So
be for both teams be their Achilles heel. They're going to have to win in these sort of shootouts often. I mean, they should have lost if we had a kicker at hand. So we'll see
right,
how they do against. I mean, they got the Cardinals, and that over under
right.
probably opens at like 52.5 with both those defenses, how they're playing, and especially how pedestrian that second half from Kyler was.
If
Um,
that's the case, I'm slapping under immediately.
you're slapping
Immediately.
under.
Yeah, 52 and a half. Immediately, I'm slapping under.
I'm curious what is early odds and predictions. What is a fool?
Get it. I can get it. I can get it real quick.
It's 50.5.
Yeah. 50 and a half. Okay. I mean, I can
Right.
understand that, but it's like that more than I was gonna say Detroit and the Cardinals. Like that's what I'm saying. Like we're not putting this offense. I mean,
Well,
for
that's
them to
well
go
with the
over.
lot. Well, with the they have a bet. So I think I like two bad defenses against dynamic quarterbacks. If this over don't hit, I'm taking a break from over unders for some time
You don't have
because
to.
I
You don't
already
have to
know I'm
take
gonna
a.
take.
You don't have to take a break. You just maybe could a little bit more. You don't have to take necessarily a break. You know what I mean? You can
Oh
look
no,
at your
I'm
angle a little bit more.
definitely I'm definitely doing my due diligence because I had like 2-3 parlays not hit. But yeah, Commanders
That's
were
the
they 2-1? They 2-1,
yeah.
so they're tied at
That's the end
first
of
with
week
the Eagles,
week three.
and they got a division win against us, so that's huge. But yeah, Jaden did against let's see if he can be consistent with it, but
Right. Let's just see for consistency. You know what I mean? Like if you're a Commanders fan, I ain't talking to you about y'all. I already know what y'all on. Y'all doing y'all thing. Y'all having a blast. It's a pep rally the whole week, and you know what? I'm not even going cap. Y'all deserve it. Y'all allowed to do that, bro. They allowed to do that. You know what I mean? Like you got to win. It looked good. It was on national TV for once. Your foot hasn't embarrassed you. So it's like y'all are allowed to enjoy this right here. But again, y'all got a game on Sunday, and you know what I mean. Hopefully, y'all can do it again. And we really got us a serious in the NFC East.
and this is and we'll obviously get to this we preview this week, but it's a tough spot. Cardinals and pretty. I would say it's an embarrassing loss. You up any points in the entire second half, got bullied around, and then Commanders coming off an emotional win, coming out game for the Jaden Daniels McLaurin
And
connection. That's a spot. It's a spot where hey, the Cardinals are going to play you tough, so don't
it's a short week.
celebrate for a little bit, but
Don't forget, it's a short week. Short week for the Washington Commanders. They played at 8:30 on
yeah,
me.
and then they gotta go across 3 hour time difference.
So, but yeah,
Yeah, that's it for the games. Here in a moment, with the night preview. Obviously, we're both pretty invested in that one, an important game for the division. But matter of fact, like and subscribe. We're out for a little
see ya.
bit.